Have you ever stopped to think that mild anxiety may be lurking in your routine, influencing your life more than you realize? You may not even notice it, but these small signs may be telling you something important, something that deserves your attention. After all, what once seemed like mere nervousness can, over time, begin to affect your well-being in a silent and persistent way. If you are someone who cares about your health or takes care of your loved ones, know that this message is especially for you. Sometimes, subtle anxiety, the kind that seems harmless, can be following you closely, influencing your mood, your sleep, your disposition, even if in a subtle way. And understanding these signs can make a huge difference in your quality of life. Today, I want to show you that small changes in your body or routine can be indicative of something worth investigating. There's no need to panic, but it is important to pay attention. With simple and practical information, you can learn to recognize these signs and take better care of yourself or your loved ones. It's an opportunity to understand what your body is trying to tell you, often without words. Before we begin, I want to invite you to comment here about where you are watching from. It's always beautiful to see how this network of care connects different places and stories. Share with us your city, your country, whatever is important to you. In this way, we create a community that supports and understands each other. And get ready, because the first sign may be closer than you think, maybe even in your daily routine, without you realizing it. Let's start discovering together how this mild anxiety may be more present than you think, and what you can do to take better care of yourself, with attention and affection. The first thing you may start to notice is the way you walk. Let's call this your stride. This is one of the first clues your body can give you about your health and well-being. Why is this important? Because the way you walk reveals a lot about your strength, balance, and energy. If your stride becomes slower, more uncertain, or you notice that you need to exert more effort to walk, this may indicate that something is changing inside you. Many health professionals use this observation as an early warning sign. And the best part is that by noticing these details, you can take care of yourself before something more serious happens. A firm, confident stride helps you maintain your independence, prevents falls, and ensures that you can continue doing what you love. Imagine your friend John, who is 75 years old. He has always been active and enjoys walking in the park. Recently, he noticed that his gait had slowed down. He started paying attention to this, taking short daily walks and strengthening his legs with simple exercises, such as lifting his heels or walking slowly for a few minutes. Over time, he felt more secure, began walking more lightly, and his mood improved. Now think about Mrs. Maria, who is 78 years old. She also noticed that her gait had become more unsteady, but she thought it was just a sign of aging. She continued to do the same activities as always, without paying attention to the change. Over time, she began to feel more tired, became more insecure when climbing stairs, and even avoided walking in the park. Ignoring this sign can make it more difficult to maintain your independence, increasing the risk of falls and becoming more dependent. Therefore, a simple step to take care of yourself is to take short walks every day, paying attention to your gait. Light strengthening exercises, such as stretching your legs and walking slowly, help maintain balance and strength. These are simple actions, but they make all the difference to your health. And if your gait is changing, know that small steps can help you maintain your freedom. And in the next step, you'll see what else your body may be trying to tell you. The second sign that deserves attention is difficulty opening jars, lids, or small objects. This difficulty may seem like a minor detail, but it is actually an important sign of strength and coordination in the hands. People who notice that their hands are weaker or that they need to exert more effort to open a jar or pick up a key may be experiencing a gradual loss of dexterity, even if they can still perform their usual tasks. This sign is important because hand strength often reflects the overall health and vitality of an older person. Healthcare professionals often notice this detail even before more specific tests, as an early warning sign of possible future limitations. Imagine Anna, who used to open jars without difficulty but now has to use all her strength. She feels frustrated when trying to open a can of food, and sometimes gives up or asks for help. On the other hand, we have Vera, who experiences the same difficulty but is committed to doing light exercises with a rubber ball or squeezing a small pillow several times a day. Gradually, she is able to regain some of her strength, keeping her independence and self-esteem intact. When this strength begins to decline, simple everyday tasks can become more difficult, increasing the risk of falls and loss of independence. Small difficulties today can become major obstacles tomorrow if they are not noticed and addressed. To prevent this, a simple tip is to practice holding light objects, such as a rubber ball, for a few minutes a day. Pinching and squeezing exercises can strengthen your hands in a safe and accessible way. This way, you keep what is rightfully yours, your strength and independence. And even if your hands still feel steady, it's worth considering whether your body is resting and functioning as it should. And now that we've talked about strength, let's discover something that often goes unnoticed but is also critical to your health and well-being. If you're enjoying these tips and want to learn more ways to take care of yourself with ease, take the opportunity to subscribe to our channel right now. Here, every piece of content is designed to help you live a safer, more independent, and healthier life. When we start to feel that our patience is shorter than usual, or that we feel more irritated by little things, it can be a silent sign that something is changing in our mind and body. This attitude, which we can call increased emotional reactivity, often goes unnoticed, but it is an important warning sign. Small, exaggerated responses to what previously seemed simple, or a constant feeling of emotional exhaustion, can indicate the onset of a vulnerability that, if ignored, intensifies over time. It's as if our brain is sending a warning signal, a way of letting us know that our emotional balance is being affected. Imagine João, 75, always calm and patient, now getting irritated by any comment or distraction. He doesn't realize that this change is a warning sign, and ends up closing himself off even more. Maria, 78, notices that she is becoming more nervous and stressed, and decides to talk to her daughter, who helps her understand that this pattern may indicate something deeper. She begins to practice simple breathing techniques and sets aside moments of silence and reflection, taking care of her emotions with small daily gestures. When we ignore this emotional reactivity, it can turn into greater vulnerability, making it difficult to deal with everyday challenges and increasing the risk of depression or anxiety. What seemed like something small ends up affecting our mental and even physical health. Therefore, it is essential to pay attention to mood changes and look for ways to balance emotions, such as taking deep breaths in moments of tension and setting aside time for leisure and conversation. These simple actions help maintain our inner strength and strengthen our autonomy, even in the face of difficulties. And sometimes, what seems like a passing reaction can hide an opportunity to take better care of yourself. The absence of inner silence. Often, in the rush of everyday life, we forget to take care of what is going on inside us. When we are constantly tense, with a restless mind and no moments of calm, we are sending silent signals that something needs attention. This lack of inner peace does not seem to affect us immediately, but over time it builds up, like a battery that gradually runs down. And what seemed like a normal routine can become a source of physical and emotional exhaustion, damaging our longevity. Imagine two people of similar age, with similar routines, but with totally different reactions to inner silence. One of them sets aside time to take deep breaths, meditate for a few minutes, or simply quiet their mind before going to sleep. This person usually wakes up more peaceful, with more energy, a more balanced mood, and is able to maintain better focus throughout the day. The other person, who ignores these signs, lives with a mind that is always racing, irritable, and has difficulty relaxing at night. They feel a constant sense of alertness, which impairs their sleep and, over time, weakens their immune system, worsens their mood, and accelerates aging. Ignoring this absence of inner silence can lead to silent but very serious consequences. The body reacts to continuous stress with an inflammatory response, becoming more vulnerable to disease. Memory can become weaker, mood more unstable, and energy increasingly scarce. However, the good news is that this cycle can be reversed. Small daily actions, such as taking a few minutes for conscious breathing or avoiding screens before bed, can restore inner serenity. A warm bath, a walk in the sun, or a simple meditation can make all the difference. Knowing how to take care of the silence within yourself is a gentle way to strengthen your body and soul. Because sometimes the biggest secret to a longer life lies in the tranquility we cultivate within ourselves. And when that silence is restored, the body also responds, stronger and more balanced. If you want to learn more ways to take care of your rest and strengthen your energy, we have a free ebook with simple and effective tips. The link is in the pinned comments. Take the opportunity to take care of yourself with lightness and attention. And when the body finds that inner silence, it speaks. But what happens when that calm disappears? Maybe it's time to listen to the signals your own body is sending you. Your appetite in recent weeks. How have you been eating? Have you noticed any changes in your desire to eat? Perhaps your meals have become less interesting, or you are skipping some because you don't feel like eating or aren't hungry. These small changes in eating may seem normal over time, but they are actually signs of what is happening to your body and mind. When your appetite disappears for no apparent reason, it's your body asking for attention. It could be a nutrient deficiency, a slowing metabolism, or even a sign that something emotional is affecting your relationship with food. Imagine two people. One maintains an enjoyable, varied meal routine that includes fruits, grains, and colorful foods. This person feels energized, cheerful, and happy when eating. They eat with care, taking good care of themselves. The other person begins to lose interest in food. They skip meals or eat quickly, without enjoyment. This person may feel weak, constantly tired, in a bad mood, and even have difficulty concentrating. The lack of proper nutrition affects their strength, immunity, and willingness to engage in daily activities. If you ignore these signs, the risk is high. The body begins to lose muscle mass, the body's defenses become weak, and the chance of falls increases. You may feel more tired, have difficulty staying focused, or even feel sadder. When the body does not get what it needs, it begins to slow down essential functions, accelerating aging and hindering your independence. But there are simple ways to take better care of yourself. Keeping regular meal times helps create a routine and stimulate your appetite. Preparing colorful dishes with natural foods such as fruits, vegetables, and grains makes food more appealing and nutritious. And don't forget to stay hydrated. Eating well is a way of loving yourself, of taking care of your body and mind. And even if your appetite is weaker, something more subtle may be going on. How have you been dealing with the weight of your thoughts? Sometimes, what we don't realize is that hidden emotions also affect our eating. But that's a topic for the next step. The absence of real contact. The silent loneliness that goes unnoticed. Often, it seems like the days drag on without words, laughter, or gestures of affection. It's a subtle feeling, but it can weigh heavily on the soul. When routine becomes a sequence of lonely moments, the body feels it too. The absence of connection and sincere dialogue weakens the spirit. It is as if the soul loses its most important nourishment, affection and recognition. And this disconnection is not limited to the mind. It affects the body, decreases energy, impairs memory, and even sleep. The feeling of isolation increases the risk of depression, loss of will to live, and illnesses that seem to creep up silently. It is a cycle that, if not noticed, can lead to emotional fatigue, loss of purpose, and a weakened immune system. But the good news is that this loneliness can be reversed with small gestures of care. A message sent to a friend, a quick call to a loved one, participation in an activity, even online. These simple actions bring back the feeling of belonging. A 5-minute conversation can brighten an entire day. After all, we all need connection, to feel seen and heard. And even in the silent journey of old age, human contact is still the best medicine for strengthening the body and soul. When the silence of the outside world meets internal fragility, the body feels it too. But with small gestures, we can rekindle the flame of togetherness and affection, paving the way for the next step, taking care of the body, breathing, and balance. Subtle signs of instability. When you notice that you start to slip or lose your balance more often when walking, it is a silent sign that deserves attention. This feeling of insecurity, even if slight, may indicate an initial loss of muscle strength, changes in the nervous system, or posture. Many people ignore these small signs, thinking that it is a sign of aging or that it will pass. But in fact, these moments of instability are warnings from the body, a way of saying that something needs to be taken care of before it becomes a greater risk. That stumble here, a hesitation there, and what seemed like a minor detail can develop into a serious fall, a fracture, or a loss of independence. Imagine the story of Maria, who, when climbing the stairs at home, began to feel slightly unsteady. She realized that by holding onto the wall or her wife's hand, she was able to maintain her balance. She decided to see a physical therapist, did simple balance exercises, such as walking in a straight line and using a chair for support during stability training. With just a few minutes a day, Maria regained her confidence and security, avoiding greater risks. On the other hand, João thought these signs were normal, that it's just an old person thing, and didn't pay any attention. One day, when he got out of the shower, he slipped on the sink and fell. It was a big scare, and he needed days of rest and physical therapy. This story shows how ignoring small instabilities can lead to serious accidents, hospitalizations, and loss of independence. Prevention is simple and accessible. Balance exercises, such as walking slowly in a straight line or leaning on a chair, can make all the difference. Dedicating 5 minutes a day to strengthening this skill is an investment in your freedom to move safely. If your body has already shown signs of frailty, it's time to listen to that warning. Because sometimes the greatest risk is not in the steps we take, but in the way we learn to take care of them. And if your body has already revealed where it is fragile, what else is your heart keeping silent? The silent weight we carry often remains invisible, hidden in the folds of the heart. It is that unexpressed feeling, that pain that never had room to be said, a wound that closed on the outside but insists on throbbing on the inside. Perhaps it is an old regret, an unspoken word, a hurt that was never released. This invisible burden, though discreet, has a profound impact on the body and soul. The body holds everything the heart cannot release, and thus tension builds up in the muscles, in the breath, in the posture. The soul, in turn, becomes impoverished, losing its lightness, its hope for a more peaceful tomorrow. It is not about guilt, but about an opportunity to look within, to allow yourself to feel what has been held for so long. When we ignore these signs, the body ages faster, vitality fades, and the soul becomes trapped in a silence that wears us down. Imagine two people, one who represses their emotions, carrying hurt, resentment, and doubts, and another who decides to embrace their pain by writing letters, talking to themselves, or simply breathing mindfully. The first often feels irritated, sleepless, with a constant feeling of heaviness. The second finds space to release what was imprisoned, experiencing an unexpected lightness, a more sincere smile, a renewed energy. The difference between the two reveals the power of letting go of what no longer belongs to us, of forgiving and giving voice to what has been silenced. Letting go does not mean forgetting, but allowing oneself to be free. You can start by writing down what you have been holding back, practicing moments of silence and prayer, or simply talking to someone you trust. Because the true gift is allowing yourself to feel, to embrace yourself with kindness, and thus make room for healing. And when the heart finds relief, the body also learns to breathe more freely. Perhaps, at this moment, the only question that remains is, have you allowed yourself to listen to what your silence insists on saying? And in the stillness of that reflection, there is a seed of hope for the next step. Today you had the opportunity to look within, with your eyes and your heart. Every sign, every detail we perceive, whether in the body or in inner stillness, reveals important paths to a longer, fuller, and higher quality life. Remember that these signs are not definitive diagnoses, but invitations to pay attention, take care, and reflect. They show us that being attentive to ourselves, to small movements, and to silent emotions is a powerful way to preserve our physical and emotional health. Every gesture of care, no matter how small, has the potential to transform your routine, strengthen your soul, and increase your vitality. You can start now by observing your rhythm, practicing conscious breathing, talking more with your loved ones, or simply silencing your mind for a moment. You don't have to change everything at once. The secret lies in the simplicity of one step at a time, with the intention of caring for yourself with love and attention. And in doing so, you begin a journey of transformation and hope. I want to thank you deeply for being with us so far. Your presence shows that you value your life, that you care about your well-being, and that you want a healthier and happier future. This attitude of care is a gesture of self-love and respect for who you are today and who you can become. If this content touched your heart, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. That way, you will always receive tips and reflections that help you cultivate your well-being, maintain your vitality, and live more consciously. Here, each video is an opportunity to take better care of yourself, learn more, and strengthen your path to quality longevity. Remember, it is not time that ages the body, but the silence in the face of the signs we ignore. Listen to what your life is trying to tell you and respond with attention and love. What you do with your body, your feelings, and your daily actions is shaping your future. There is still time to do things differently, to take better care of yourself, and to create a story full of hope, strength, and well-being. You deserve this care, and the time to start is now.